Hi guys, another impromptu Facebook Live. I am just kind of motivated again today. I think because I've been under the weather, I've been not doing a lot, so this energy is starting to come out. Even though I'm still feeling under the weather, the energy is just starting to move, and I feel like I need to have more dialogue with everybody. So anyway, so this video is all about patience and being understanding of other people's situations and what's possibly going on in their lives and their situations, because we don't always know. Now, yeah, my job as a psychic medium is to know that, but that's when we schedule a reading and I find those things out. But I notice sometimes with bookings, either something is going on with people and they're unable to actually have their appointment due to circumstances showing up at the last minute and things like that, in that sometimes you'll feel the frustrations of clients. And the thing is, though, they may take it out on you. You may feel that unloading of frustration in their circumstances. So I noticed that if I had cancelled an appointment, or if somebody had difficulty in seeing their appointment through, and what happens is when people get frustrated, they don't understand the full surroundings of what they're in, because they're in the emotional content. And when you're in that emotional content, when you're in that vibration of confusion and upset, you can't see anything past your own environment, just your environment being your aura, your own energy. And so in general, I've noticed this with clients sometimes, and I'm not going to take it personally. And it's important for you as an individual not to take things personally as well. But it's a very sensitive time right now. A lot of people are just unloading their frustrations, their experiences in life. They're just unloading, releasing. And it's important at this time to really, honestly, to God, not take anything personally. Because it's not all about you. And if you take it as about you, then that's when you're in your emotional content, your emotional narrative that does not serve you well. And so it's really, really important to know this. And so have patience with people. Have patience with just people in general in the experiences they're going in. You don't know all their experiences. We don't know what's going on with somebody. We don't know their story, their narrative. And so it's important to keep an open mind as to what's going on with them. Now, there's no excuse for when people are rude or not knowing how to communicate clearly. There's no excuses for that, because we're all, each and all of us are responsible for how we do things, how we communicate. But it's important to have an understanding of why, okay? And that's what we forget to do as individuals, as spiritual beings in these human experiences. We forget to do that. We forget to tap into our spiritual source, our awareness, our empathy, and our understanding of, okay, if they're acting this way or if they're saying these things, why are they doing that? And especially, as I talked about in the video I made yesterday, when we talk about friendships and relationships ending and careers ending and all these other things that are going on, there's always a bigger picture. And we end up looking at ourselves and trying to figure out, well, what do I have to do with this? What am I doing with this situation? What am I doing with this story? And so you can understand your position, your part in the play, so to speak, but it's important to know what's okay and what isn't, and what belongs to you and what doesn't. And so you can stand your ground, you can stand up for yourself, but it's important to not to carry the weight of what other people are going through. You can have empathy for it, but it's not okay for you to take it on. Excuse me. Still a little under the weather. And so, sorry if I'm shaking this camera. I'm at my doorstep, by the way, outside the office. So sorry for the shaky hands. But I had to just make this video right now because I actually was supposed to have a client today and things didn't turn out for them. And it's okay. And I said to them, it's really absolutely okay. But their energies were in a different place. And I think it's okay to feel frustration. It's okay to get upset and things like that. But it's important to let things go. And that's when your karmic situation builds up. You hold on to the emotions that don't feel good. And you reflect that. And it's important, the minute you feel like you're going into a bad mood, that minute you feel like you're frustrated or upset, you have the ability and the power in which to change your emotional state, your emotional frequency. There is no, oh, this is what's happened to me and I can stay in this emotional sadness or frustration. Yes, we've all had things happen to us. We all have had situations that have come up. But it's important to know and be aware that you can change how you feel about it. You have the power within you to change your emotional response. And this year is all about that. So if you get pushed, excuse me, if you get pushed and shoved in different ways and you're not knowing how to respond in a grounded, mature fashion, then you're going to have a lot of struggles ahead. And you need to have patience with the situations around you and with people around you so that you can respond differently and so that you can have patience with yourself so that you can make better choices. Now, don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself if you overreact to situations or people. That's part of this process of learning. So don't be hard on yourself. Be patient with your learning. Be patient with that process of what you're going through. Know that the experience is a necessary and important part of this awakening process, the experience of where you are. It wasn't meant to be easy to be here on this earth plane. It was never meant to be easy. It wasn't meant to be about coasting through life while you're here. If we were going to coast, there would be no reason to be here. It's quite simple. But, you know, be responsible for who you are. Be responsible for your own emotional self. And if you're unsure of what your emotional self is doing or feeling, then simply take a step back. Simply breathe. Take a moment just to slow down and pay attention and recognize your current experience, because there's so much more going on than we realize. There's so much more going on with other people than you realize, and it's not all about you, and it's not always all about them either, because they have a hard time shaking things off from other situations and people that they hold on to. So we truly have to be responsible human beings and try not to unload too much on others, and to be able to, you know, we can have that guidance with friends and family and seek guidance, but we have to be able to be mindful of our emotional state and what we, the frustrations that we choose to unload without permission. And if you're on the receiving end of that, again, the patience is necessary in order for you to be able to grow in your empathy skills. It's really, really important. And you never know, and especially with these days with texting and through messages, and I have a lot of clients that like to email or text, and I don't take appointments through text. So that's a big no-no. Through emails, I have someone else that answers emails so that I can keep a disconnect. But sometimes there's emotional responses that go through text, through the written word. And so a lot of information can be confused. The narrative can be misunderstood based on the written word. And so it's important to have that emotional connection, have that one-on-one connection sometimes with people so that you know what's really going on, because a lot can be misconstrued and you know, totally discounted and just completely wrong. So yeah, it's important to pay attention to communication. So yes, patience. Really, thanks. You know, really have a lot of patience. If you find you're struggling with patience, then push harder. This is the year of being responsible. We cannot make excuses anymore. We all have things going on in our lives. We're either too busy. A lot of you out there are busy with families, children, work, bills, and all of those things. But those are all material things outside of yourself and physical things outside of yourself that will flow with you if you allow yourself to flow. So when you're fighting, when you're swimming upstream and going downstream, you're going to see the struggle outside of yourself. But when you're flowing downstream and just letting guidance and patience and the flow of how life works and the process of how things work, you'll actually find things move a lot faster for you. So have patience in divine timing. Have patience in the things that have not yet shown up. Have patience in, sorry, every time the messenger or my phone pops up, it freezes. So I hope you can still hear me. Yeah, every time you face internal struggles, have patience. Every time you face external struggles, have patience. With people, have patience. And that does not mean you're a doormat. That does not mean that you're taking another person's load. It just means you have patience and understanding and empathy for where they're at, and to not take it personally. And the more, here's the thing, sorry, not the more, the less you take personally from situations that you encounter, the more patience you'll have. Because when you don't take things personally, you then can understand the bigger story and the bigger picture. And then you begin to realize, I have nothing to do with this scenario. And then you realize, oh, I have patience, more patience now, because I'm not spending too much time in the emotional content of that narrative that's been described to me versus with me. So again, patience goes a long way, and be patient with yourself. Seriously, we're all learning here, myself included. We're all on this path together. It doesn't matter what we're doing, what position we're in, we're all on the same path. But you have this opportunity to grow. You have this opportunity to pursue things that feel good. None of you are stuck unless you choose to be so. And we can look at the conditions situation, we can look at the circumstances, we can look at the environment that we're in, but we choose our emotional response. And so if I'm approached, whether it's through clientele or whether it's through people in general with different responses that aren't so clearly communicated, it's up to me to understand that there's other dilemmas going on within their situations and their own story. And it's up to you as an individual to recognize that with family members, with friends, with work colleagues, relationships. It's up to you to understand that. And I got a little ant on my arm crawling to say hello. Sorry, he's going to sit there for a little bit. And so, I can't tell you enough. I really cannot tell you enough. And if you stay in your emotional narrative and you stay in that vibration, you're not going to see the changes you want to see. And so I'm going to be a lot tougher these days, I think, because this is that year. This is the year of all endings and the year of all beginnings, because it's the 1 year. And it's a really powerful year, and a lot of people are not taking advantage of that. So please take advantage of it. Pay attention to what speaks to you. Pay attention to those desires and everything else that's coming to you. And pay attention to your emotional frequency. Try not to take anything personally. Try to be aware of your emotional state and what belongs to you and what doesn't. Be responsible for your own narrative that you push out, and have patience. Okay, you have this. It's important for you to use it. And I can tell you, I've had those experiences this week, and it's, hi, what's up, honey? Diana R. It's important to know that had I not sat quietly, and that's another important thing, sorry, is to breathe. If I had not sat quietly within the moment of seeing how maybe certain clientele or situations or people are acting, I may be in my emotional vibration spinning around in a very chaotic mode without awareness of what the actual story is. So slowing down to breathe is really important. And if you're still frustrated after that, because a lot of you will try to breathe and meditate and be still, and you're still frustrated and anxious and getting upset and pissed off, right? You're still feeling that. Then you do it again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And I said this in another post I made about meditation. It's not about having the perfect setting to meditate. You could just simply walk down the street and take 3 breaths, and you're present in the fact that you're taking a breath. Then in that moment you're in meditation. So if you do that for those 3 breaths, and then you go back into the emotional state of being frustrated and upset, then you go back to those 3 breaths. You do it again. You do it as often as necessary until it becomes such a natural habit that you won't need to focus so hard on making it a habit. So that's where the responsibility comes in. That's where the patience comes in, is being able to just say, yes, I can do this. I'm upset today, I'm frustrated today, but I'm just going to take another breath. And you may have kids, you may have 400 or 500 kids around you, and it's really difficult. Between every child that approaches you for an issue or dilemma, you take a breath. For every toilet break, you take a breath. Pick a moment, find the moments where you can take those breaths, because you have opportunities, you just don't see them because of your emotional vibration, your emotional frequency that you stay within. And again, I see this a lot with clientele. And it's important for me to create a very comfortable setting. And if I don't believe the setting is okay for them, so for example, I don't read people who are driving. I had a client the other day and I asked them, are you driving? And they said yes. I said, I'm not reading for you if you're driving. I need you to be focused, I need you to be sat still, and that's really, really important. People need to slow down, and if you have to be somewhere, then let me know ahead of time and reschedule, you know. So in your life, if you are in a rush and you have to be somewhere, pay attention to the process of what's happening. Pay attention to what you're doing, because that's when things start to take you off the path that is going to give you the path that is the happiest for you, the one that you find the most solutions to. And have patience in it. If you're being slowed down, if you're in, say, traffic, there's a reason for that traffic. There's a reason if, for example, if a client I had wasn't meant to be read today. Doesn't mean it wasn't meant to be, it just means not today. That's okay. And I learned that again while I was being sick. I had to just cut off, slow down, answer phone calls, and just take a break. And so it's important for you to do the same. Have the patience. Please, please have patience. So I hope this helps. I feel like there's more to discuss, but I'm going to keep this video short because you'll end up yawning after a while. So get out there and take those 3 breaths. Do the 5 and 5. If you don't know what the 5 and 5 is, hashtag 5 and 5 meditation. That's going to help you. I do it every morning, and I do it between every client. So that really helps me. I'll post that on here as well after I finish up. But yeah, everything I'm telling you is information that you already have within your divine system, within your divine wisdom, within your divine consciousness. It's already there, set up. You have that knowledge yourself. I'm just here to echo that, because sometimes we need a little bit of support on the outside. So that's why I'm here. Okay. So send in lots of love. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Again, prayers and love, and honor to those that have served, and to the safety of those that are still serving. And, you know, send well wishes to everyone that's struggling, who have lost people in service. You know, send love and patience to those so they can heal faster, you know. And I send you all my love. I send you my patience. Yeah, hopefully you can join me for healing tomorrow, guys. We're doing a healing Reiki share tomorrow. So if you can join me, that'd be great. If you're not Reiki certified, send love out anyway. Again, we're all natural healers as well, so it's all there for us. Thank you for watching. I hope it helps. Pass it along if you know people that need some patience. Even if they throw the phone away because they don't want to hear it right now, repeat. Breathe and repeat. That's the key, okay? I love you guys. Sending lots of love. Hearts back to you, and I will see you all soon for another live, I'm sure. Bye.